there, regardless of the other security agencies?
I think in the CA, that's where you had, I think, Kano SJ and now General Tinyefuza and I think Serwanga Rwanga, when they are debating the issue of multi-party. The president never wanted military people to be engaged in the debate. He actually wrote, I still have that document, because in CA you had an opposition caucus, but you also had a movement caucus, and I guess the Honorable Wandere Ogaro was part of the movement caucus.
Correct.
So the president wrote, and he said when we, for example, go for multi-party democracy, you can't have the army in parliament, because the army, that parliament will be a partisan parliament. I still have that document. The same president insisted that the army should continue being in parliament, and they are still there. He had said because of the contribution made by, at that time controversial, by Tinyefuza and BSJ, that after all your duty is to watch and observe. That's when the word listening post came into being, that the military people are supposed to be listening post. During the removal of term limit, Colonel Fred Bogere chose to abstain. He didn't vote for removal. And Museveni summoned him in Mbari, where he had camped. I think he went with Aronda. Said, you Ogere, they have told him you have become a very big politician in Kampala. You are the one. Said, why didn't you vote for with your colleagues? He said, but we never took a decision as an army. So, and I took your guidance that when you go there, we become listening post. And Ogere was on Katebe until when he retired. So the military is still there. We are only a bit lucky that those 10 seats.
Which side do they sit?
I think Kadaga, when we were arguing, the Honorable Kadaga said they can choose where they want to sit. So they somehow sit in the middle, but they vote with NRM. They are like any other NRM MP. So Kano Bogere does not vote and is reprimanded. So the rest of the military people who are there are supposed, they are in parliament to boost the NRM numbers. Even the way they are selected, because the Army Council is the one that elects military, but in the past, I think now they are directed, but they have to be chieftains. CMY, personnel, they would be the ones to generate a list of candidates. So you don't volunteer, so you don't ask to be a candidate. So they write a list, take it to Mr. Museveni, Commander-in-Chief. He removes some, he says this one remove. Then he brings the list before the Army Council. He says this one is historical, this one is this. So by the time he ends his speech, he has already selected the 7. So they vote for only 3. The 7 are directly elected by Museveni. This one is just a ceremony. And even to remove them. So the military is still there. I remember when J.J. Odong was appointed Minister of State for Environment, Parliament said a serving military officer cannot be appointed a minister because this is a partisan role. And J.J. Odong did not assume that office until he resigned. Later on, Mr. Museveni appointed Aronda. Parliament said, but he also supposed to resign like a JJ. He said, no, he will not resign. From now onwards, military people are serving as ministers. They don't have to resign from Katumba Wamala to Aronda to everybody else. That's why I said when you asked me at the beginning of this debate, and you wanted me to talk about the 1995 Constitution and ask, is it still there? Maybe in a name. The other day, MPs summoned the CDF, who also happens to be Museveni's son. Says, those clowns, how can you summon me? Maybe you will come crawling, I will even come and arrest you. And the speaker was very quick to say, why were you summoning him? This is an office, can't the deputy come? But we have had CDFs, Katumba Wamala, around and everybody appearing for accountability before Parliament. When he was speaking, celebrating the 30 years, he said accountability. Who accounts to who? If you have a CDF whose budget and salary is determined by Parliament, but he says you MPs, I can come and arrest you, he even had a demonstration. Today, you have a CDF who runs a political party. When Lieutenant General now, Henry Tumukunde, went on CBS and Radio 1, and he said, please don't remove the term limit. For 4 years, he was under house arrest at the officers' mess in Kororo, spreading harmful propaganda. He spoke, he says, no removal of term limits. Now you have a CDF who says, we are going into these elections. You will see us Bahima. And he tweets. And we are seeing them. The other day I saw Bobo Wine. He spent the biggest part of the day pushing vehicles because they can't allow him to drive on the main road. So really the constitution was overthrown. A few provisions that have remained for purposes of facilitating the military dictatorship and family. If they want to arrest you, they will now read for you a particular provision that serves them, but the rest are not there. We can pretend about it. We are under full-blown military dictatorship. That's why I sympathize with the professionals who are advising government. I don't think Kiwanuka Kiryowa, you are the one who advised government to invade the parliament and beat everybody. But we are beaten. You see, the speaker read a list of MPs.
I'm not a very big fan of indiscipline.
The speaker read a list of MPs she suspended. She says, you were in this, I have suspended you. I was never read, but I was the first to be removed and beaten. I nearly died. Even when they took me to Nagarama, the first thing they did was taking me to St. Agnes. There is a clinic there. Those fellows, SFC had nearly killed me. We recently we were considering the amendment to the Coffee Act. And again, SFC came. You journalists were arrested, detained in the conference hall of Parliament. They switched off lights, started picking SFC again. So if that is not a military dictatorship, what is it? In fact, we shouldn't be celebrating 30 years of the Constitution. We should be discussing 40 years of military dictatorship.
Let me come back
because this Constitution that may be in a classroom, this should be a classroom debate. The debate of Uganda should be 40 years of military rule, where if you don't have a gun, and now it's no longer even military, but family. Because even military people are also under pressure. I saw, and I keep teasing Erweru. Erweru was a deputy CDF. But Moses Kainerugaba said, you buffoon, this year I will deal with you. He said, my priorities for this year to deal with this buffoon. And the buffoon has since then been chased from the military. So even to stay in the military itself now, you can only stay either if the son or the father wants to stay. Even the military is under pressure. So it is no longer even a military. It is a family military dictatorship. That's what we should be discussing. But to bring here Kiwanuka Kiryowa as if he's giving a lecture to law students is just pretense. The Constitution is no longer there. Finished 100%.
Let me come to the AG.
This one, who was a chairman for organizing parties of a military serving officer, blocking roads. He now has a political party. Recently, I saw them. He was in Kalangala. The principal legal advisor of government was in Kalangala with members of PLOU, and he legal military outfit turned a political party with a legal principal advisor. He was the one organizing parties for this illegal group. Yeah. We have abused this country to the maximum.
Honorable Ssemujju, every time I listen to you, you are the epitome of infatuation. You know, you are either a grave admirer of President Museveni and his family, or you are simply besotted, for lack of a better word, because you are really absolutely infatuated. I think when you go to sleep, the only thing you think about is the President Museveni, the family, the wife.
I actually,
but the point you're making,
I am bothered by family rule.
The point you make,
which you are serving.
The point you fail to make, the point you fail to make, or to in this whole run around of yours, is the problem has nothing to do with the constitution.
The problem didn't even wait for you to say now it is your turn.
No, you told me.
Honorable, the Honorable AG.
You didn't wait.
Because you are really impressed. Because you are this infatuation is something, you know.
You didn't
it is bordering on insanity.
What is the difference between you? For you, they have turned. Instead of being a principal legal advisor, you are chairman of their parties.
Yes.
That's the big job.
Where's the problem?
You should be advising a serving military officer not to have a political party.
No, but he doesn't have a political party that I know of, because I believe that Honorable Ssemujju, having been in Parliament for so long, would have actually at least learned how a political party is set up. So at least I would have thought that you'd figure that out. But notwithstanding.
Honorable Kiryowa Kiwanuka, the question of governance was one of the things that was in our preamble, especially on the instability and the politics. He addresses the military. Do we still need the military in Parliament? Because one of the things that I remember, especially when Honorable Wandera was there, is that there was an agreement that after 10 years they would leave if the stability is there. Are we still in instability that we still need the army in Parliament per the Constitution?
But that agreement is not in the Constitution. So if there was an agreement, are you saying there are some things we agreed on which we did not put in the Constitution?
So did the Tanzanians. It wasn't in the Constitution.
Yeah, but that is why they put the provision on amendment. So when you determine that you no longer need it, that's how you do it. But you can't tell me that we had an agreement, because first of all, I wasn't there. So what we get is what we read and what we see as the agreement. So what is in the agreement is in the four corners of that Constitution. So don't tell me about agreements that were made on the side which were not put in the Constitution, because my job is not to advise on how the law should be, but how it is.
Okay.
You see, the Constitution, now like talking about the Constitution, says the military must be subordinate to civilian role. So did you advise Mohoz to come and appear before the civilian? Did you? When he said, I will come and arrest you clowns.
No, well, I don't know whether he called you clowns, but if he did, I do not know what empirical data he used to arrive at that conclusion. Maybe my research may come to a different conclusion. But our fellow panelist, he has been talking about...
You will go in around.
No.
The issue is, the Constitution says they should be subordinate to civilian role.
Yes, and they are subordinate to civilian role.
The civilian is someone, your friend, and he says, I will not come, and he didn't come.
Yes, and you, the member of parliament, what did you do about it? Because you have the power. We
apologized.
Ah, you see? Yeah. So you actually exercised your mandate in the Constitution by apologizing.
Really?
Which is, that's what I don't know what they were apologizing to, but they exercised their mandate because the Constitution gave them, and that takes me to what I think Sarah was talking about. You know, when we sit here and say the quality of members of parliament is wanting, present yourself. You know, you see, the people choose the people who present themselves to them. So you cannot tell the people that they should come look for this quality that we talk about, which is outside parliament, when it is not presenting itself. You know? So I think what we can sit here in our elitist way and say, parliament has failed us, parliament has failed us.
Kiwanuka is a bad man.
No, wait.
You see?
No, let me finish.
At the beginning of this country, for which you are celebrating 63 years, I spoke to Abu Mayanja.
Let me finish.
Abu Mayanja told me he even went to India to persuade Bidandisari to return. At that time, you had a group of elite like yourself persuading others to come and run a country. You are now blaming everybody. that anyone can, as long as
Okay,
they present.
Honorable Ssemujju, please
You
allow
know-
the Attorney General to complete
you know-
his submission.
You know, Honorable Ssemujju, anyway, let me get back to my point. So the issue of leadership is again us, the people. The people must choose from the people that are made available to them. So if the people are there, that you say, I am qualified, the people in parliament are not qualified, present yourself and make yourself available for the people to choose.
Okay.
But we cannot say that we don't have good leadership, but we are not participating in it. That is a contradiction. Let us make ourselves available. But also, Dr. Birete, when you come and give the public half-complete answers that when they interdicted someone, the president wrote and said, rethink, but you don't tell them what the law is. Are you saying the president broke the law?
Yes.
Yes.
No, because Article 172 of the Constitution says that the person who is appointed by the president is disciplined by the president.
A register of titles
That
is
is-
appointed by the president.
That is the law. Any person, maybe you have the Constitution. I saw.
I have
Honorable-
it.
So you read Article 172 1B. It is there. So let us not
That
read.
someone before a court
Let us not read.
can,
I will
can be returned in
respond.
office by the
No,
Please allow him
president.
to finish.
let us not read the law
I will respond.
as we want it to be. Let us tell the people, this is the law. The law has been followed. But maybe we need to rethink what this law is saying.
Okay.
That is how leadership works. So if you cannot say that this law is the members of parliament, the army officers just vote to add numbers to NRM. But what is the law? Does the law allow them to vote that way? Actually, I'll give you a story of one of your colleague MPs. One time was sleeping in parliament. When he woke up to vote, he woke up and started voting yes. So they asked him, why are you voting yes? He said, I don't think all those many people in parliament could be wrong. So it is that you're saying that if we want to talk about constitutionalism, we need to start discussing these things maturely.
Okay.
You know, maturely, and say, I think this clause needs to be revisited, and that's where Honorable Ogalo came in and said, or removed. That's where Honorable Ogalo came in and said that this constitutionalism that you're saying, why are you doing this? What is the reason that is driving you to do this?
Life presidency.
Even if the people of Uganda want life presidency, they are at liberty
No.
to do that.
And I'm